hand this over to you. What is Conscript? While I try and not blow my brains out.
Con-
With my nose, I mean, not with your riveting
Yeah.
conversation, I promise. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. One of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, is my good friend Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
You're doing better than me, dude. You're doing better than me. I can say
Dude,
that much.
I must have passed the sickness baton to you over the past couple of weeks.
Oh, dude, I just think, well, I went to London last week. I can't remember if I mentioned on the podcast that I was going to London.
Yeah.
And so it was like I had a wedding the weekend prior, and then I went to London. And so I think it was just, and work's been stressing me out. So I think it's just 3 weeks of just non-stop, like not shutting down. And it's just caught up to me in this whole week, My throat has been dead. I've just been like having a constant headaches. It's been great fun. At first it was just a sore throat, and I was like, hey, maybe I just hit it too hard in the karaoke on one night while I was in London. And yeah, that was true. But it carried on. I was like, oh gosh, no. What's happened? But it's fine. We'll make do. I prefer this kind of sick because last year when I was last properly sick, it was the projectile kind during Persona 3's launch. So it's like I much prefer the migraines and the sore throat than vomiting everywhere. I'll take that. I'll take this sick. This sick's better.
Yeah. At least with the sore throat and headaches, you can kind of just curl up on your bed and pretend you don't exist for a day or two until it goes away.
Yeah, totally. It's always this kind of time of year. It's weird, right? It's weird. You know, Hunter, as we're recording this, it's the 1 year anniversary of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Slightly just over it. Because it doesn't get a birthday technically because it came out on the 29th. So it's like, that's weird.
Because the most on-brand possible release date for that game.
The only way it could have been more on brand is if it was Kingdom Hearts 4, but alas, we keep waiting till the next leap year for that one. But no matter, we've got games to talk about this week that are in the not too distant future, hopefully. Pokemon did its big Pokemon Presents, so we're going to talk a little bit about I mean mostly me. I'm going to talk about Pokemon Legends ZA a little bit, get our impressions on the trailer, because it's not the game that we were expecting it to be in some ways, and let's just say I'm a bit mixed on it, so I'll give you my more mixed opinions on it, really, of what we've seen so far. See if it can live up to the hype, because if you're not aware, Legends Arceus, Kyle's not here to give his thoughts, but in my opinion, Legends Arceus was like the best Pokemon game in a decade. Like, it was fantastic. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And so the ZA is very much highly anticipated for me. We'll see how that turns out in a little bit, I guess. We're also just going to talk about what we've been playing, what we've been catching up on. It's going to be a bit of a shorter episode, I expect. A bit more of a low-key episode. I apologise for that. At some point, we'll have a bigger episode where we have to catch up and talk about a load of stuff. But alas, that's not right now, especially because we're not playing Monster Hunter. We promised no Monster Hunter, and look, you get sick, Ethan, and Hunter's played a horror game. Wow, what a shocker. So that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. But hey, if you're new here, welcome to the HGO podcast. We're here every Monday around 5 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere and at youtube.com/Hot Games Only. Bit of housekeeping. We're starting to get into video game review season again, a little bit of a review season, so keep your eyes peeled. We've got a couple of reviews coming out over March, one of which we can't talk about because someone in this room is under embargo. Can you guess who? Let's play that game. But hey, we've got that coming out. Obviously, we've got Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out later in the month. Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out later in the month. Can I convince somebody to play Split Fiction with me? Who knows? Should I go bully Kyle, Hunter? Is that what I'm gonna do?
I'll go. How that's where you go, and I'd probably be willing to play it.
Do you want to play it? Well, I'll play Split Fiction with you if you want. I'll buy it. I don't mind.
I'll play it.
Oh, hell yeah. Right then, we'll play Split Fiction. Come back next week. I'll buy Split Fiction. And we'll be able to play Split Fiction. There you go. Cool. So yeah, keep your eyes posted. We've got loads of new games coming out in March that aren't Monster Hunter, with plenty of reviews I'm sure that'll sporadically be thrown in there. And maybe Cal's got an article this March. He said he had a big one lined up, but I haven't heard from him. The goblins have not let me communicate with him in a while, so who knows where he is. on that. I might ask him for an update.
Mm,
We'll see.
well,
He said it was a big article. That's all I remember him saying was March was a big one. So we'll see how it's
I
going
think I
for him.
have an idea on what it is.
You'll find out soon. You'll find out soon.
Yeah.
But before that out of the way, let's get a move on to our topic of the show, which is Pokemon had a presents, which I don't think this is a unfair hypothesis here, Hunter. I think Pokemon Presents sucks. I think it's the worst, like, for, like, when you think about it, the biggest franchise on the planet in terms of gaming, like, the biggest
Always
game
with the most
franchise,
could have been in email presentations you've ever seen.
yeah, like, they're always so bad. Like, I remember you sent a message in or whatever. It's like, how would you, anyone watch the Legends ZA trailer? I was like, I forgot Pokemon Presents was even happening today.
Oh, I just sent you guys when they said the launch window
Yeah, that was
was or
what you sent,
whatever.
which is late
Just I
2025.
didn't watch the trailer until an hour ago.
Hell yeah. But yeah, like these Pokemon Presents, they're never very good because usually it follows the same logic every time. Updates on the mobile games, a weird thing like the Battle Simulator that they've announced, and then a trailer for the next Pokemon thing, which because we've been waiting for Legends EA that long, it's now the second time that it's been Legends EA. So, not too much really to talk about, really. I don't want to talk about most of the other stuff because I think the only one of us that would actually care about the battle simulation stuff is Kyle, and he's not here, so I guess we won't mention it
Yeah,
really.
seems like something he'd probably be into though, considering he seemed to be blackmailed into playing Sword for way or whichever one he had for way longer than he would have because he needed to use it to play the competitive Pokemon element.
People have always been really into competitive Pokemon. I've always Here's the thing: is it's always been interesting to me that Pokemon has always had this issue of it being a game made for kids and having
Yeah,
a
it's
grown-up
this
fan
really
base that haven't left
hilarious
it alone, you know? Like, even me,
it's
as a
this
casual Pokemon fan,
really
I still go and play the new one when it comes out.
hilarious dichotomy where it's like baby's first RPG, but then also competitive Pokemon.
Every veteran under the sun that has to mod it and nuzlocke it just to make it any form of a challenge, but gets angry
Yeah.
because the game's not how they want it to be. It's a very weird kind of dichotomy that you have there, really. But it's nice for them to finally start acknowledging that they do have this split fan base of there's a lot of older people that play Pokemon and people that are more interested in competitive, so to give them a platform for that, pretty interesting. We'll see if it works out. I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like their other skews of ventures with these things tend to work themselves out somehow, some way.
Hell yeah. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I mean, they've been working on these side projects for a long time now. Someone brought up it's nearly 10 years. Next year is 10 years since Pokemon Go was launched. That's crazy. The fact that they've been working on mobile projects now for over a decade, that's so weird, right? Like, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like. Ugh. Anyway, time's a weird thing, Hunter. But yeah, let's talk about Legends. So, Legends, as Hunter alluded to, is coming out later this year, fall 2025. Do you think it'll be a Switch 2 cross gen thing, Hunter? Do you think that we'll get to this April presentation and they'll stick a
I think
patch
that
on
the
it?
next time they talk about it, they will tell you that you could also play it on the Switch too.
That's what I'm thinking. I think
And
you don't
that'll
get
be
anything.
it.
I don't think you get anything. I just think it runs nice on the Switch 2, you
The Switch
know?
2 can play it.
Yeah, that's what I was like. It's. And here's the thing, right? It's like Scarlet and Violet, not the nicest looking games. This game looks a tiny bit better, not by much. I was looking at those windows. There's a building in one of the scenes where you're just standing there, and it's like the window and the railing and the basket on the railing is all just one 2D flat texture on the side of a building, and you're just like, oh, that's the Game Freak I
Uh,
know and hate. Like, oh yes.
hmm.
Optimization kings right here, dude. They make the Fire Emblem fruit basket look like a fucking art piece of art, dude. Like, my god. But yeah, um, I'm kind of mixed on this one, Hunter. I'm not gonna lie. This second trailer kind of disappointed me in multiple ways. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, because I don't know. I feel like Pokemon kind of had a slam dunk of an idea, really, is, not every, it'll be like every 4 or 5 years, you know, go back to an old region, an old generation, go back into the past, show different stuff like that, exploration, kind of wilds area, different gameplay loop. And they were like, okay, what makes Pokemon Legends unique? And it's like, okay, it's faster kind of combat system, being set in the past and being all about exploration. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it in what looks to be either modern day or near future within like 50 100 years. So oh, there's one thing gone. We're going to set it in the middle of a city where you're going to be exploring a fucking street with grass on it. Like, and we're going to make the battle system look like this weird hybrid thing. So I'm like, now it does look like a spin-off. You know when people were having that conversation and Pokemon went out of the way to go, no, Legends is a mainline game. This now doesn't look like a
Oh,
mainline
right.
game because they've changed the combat system and everything about it. It's very weird. It's very weird. I don't know. I just was like, when this first teaser came out and it was all the building plans of Kalos, I was like, oh, are we going to be building Kalos? Is that what we're doing? Like, are we going back in time? Are we helping with the original plans of it? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds close to like what the impression I got from that original teaser was I figured maybe it'd be like a less of a grandiose exploration kind of thing in the open way that Arceus was because of a maybe they decided that it was for the best to try something else, but maybe more like a go out into specific areas and like do a town building kind of thing where you're bringing resources
yeah,
back, and
that's what I thought it would
but
be. You'd go out.
that does not appear to be the case here.
No, it just looks like you're prattling about in fucking Kalos, just doing what you want. And it just, there were so many things about this trailer. And don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna buy it, I'm still gonna try it, and I'm still gonna be optimistic about it. But there were so many things about this game that I was just looking at it and I was going, oh, why, like, we all joked about stuff like, you had mounts in the game, so you could ride like a Sneasler. You like Sneasler would stick you in a basket and you'd be able to climb
Right,
up stuff
right.
like
I
in Breath of the
remember
Wild.
that.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this game and it's like, oh, to get on the roof,
Sneasler.
you just walk into the yellow field and I'm gonna put some gameplay up while we talk about this. Um but yeah, you just walk into this yellow like little portal with arrows and it just teleports you up. And I'm like, it feels like a
Oh
step
yeah, yeah.
backwards. Where it's like before you had mounts and ways to do that, and now this just looks like a Pokemon game where you're just walking around a city. And it
Yeah.
just like it doesn't look like Legends really. It looks like they just have slapped Legends onto the side game. Like I've got many little criticisms. For example, the starter Pokemon annoy me. Let's go back here, Hunter. Have you noticed? You know what was cool about?
Why is it
Yeah.
too Johto?
Do you know what was really cool about Legends Arceus was how it was all three different Pokemon from three different gens? Wasn't that a cool idea? Why are two of them from Johto? You literally haven't shuffled these. This is like when someone doesn't shuffle the deck of playing cards right and you end up with the same suit all the time. Like, this is not,
Yeah.
like, what the hell happened here? Why are these three? What's Tepic done to be stuck with these lot? This screams to me that, oh no, we already used Cyndaquil in Legends Arceus, so we can't do all Johto. Like, that's
Yeah,
very silly.
it's perplexing because, like, I don't know. I feel like you could swap out. You could really just change out either of the Johto Pokemon to be something else.
Yeah. You at least one of them, Fair enough having one of them, but, come on. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I meant more so just so it's one different for each one instead of
yeah.
Cyndaquil got separated from his
But
from his
the stuff I
friends.
like, bringing Az back, I think is fun from X and Y. If you haven't played X and Y, it's obviously taking place after it because he's got his Floret. I like the character designs. The character models look really good in this game, but you can say that about Pokemon since the Pokemon's always had good designs for their human characters. Even in the 3D games, they've always been pretty stylized and pretty good looking for the most part. Um, you can't really complain. It's just looking at this, it's like, oh look, each area is split into wild areas where you go up on somebody's roof. You're just telling me someone's roof just got fucking fluffy on it? Like you just. Bro, this Pokemon research project sucks. Now there's Flaffy living on my roof and he won't leave. Like, what is this? You know? Like, it's very silly. This is really funny when Talonflame and the stupid fucking Rhino are on the roof and they're having a fight, and it's like, what are the people thinking? What are they thinking?
Dude, trying to sleep through that would be a pain.
But no, there's things that like the combat system, the move to a fluid kind of real time combat system is an interesting one. I would like to see how it out really, but to me it just kind of looks like, we're talking about Baby's first RPG. It kind of looks a bit like Baby's first Xenoblade, where it's like, kind of that kind of movement mechanic system where it is just, moving around and pressing the right button prompt in time. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Um, it's coming late 2025. I'm interested in it, but like I say, it just doesn't scream Legends to me. That's the thing, is it doesn't scream like, oh yes, this looks to me like a sequel to, the next step in uh, Legends from Legends Arceus, because there's no indication of mounts, no indication of actual exploration that isn't just going up on somebody's roof every so often and like turning where the dog pisses in a normal town into a place where you can find a Bidoof. Like, it's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Hunter? As someone that doesn't really partake in Pokemon that much, what did you think of the trailer?
Um, yeah, as far as the nuances of the gameplay and whatnot, I wouldn't really be able to tell you one way or the other, but as far as like the general setting and vibe, it definitely did feel like starkly different from Arceus because of it being all in a city. And I guess maybe it could be cool if they really like developed the city into being a neat location or whatever, but
How big
I
is the
don't know.
city is the thing I'm curious about. Are you
Yeah,
actually going to be exploring all of it? Is it quite a big area?
yeah,
Or,
it's like
yeah, it's
it's
weird.
it's hard to know that kind of thing off of just a couple of minutes you got there because
Sorry, I'm going to go back
not a
here.
lot
Are they? They're not.
not a lot of it seemed to be very distinct to me. So, you know,
Yeah.
um, but yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
so
there's a lot of stuff here where I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're helping these CEOs who are obviously going to be evil because that's what Pokemon always does. Makes an evil CEO. That was like, it's the motive
art
since Gen
imitates
1.
life.
Yeah. But it's like, yeah, these open gate areas help you. The city set up wild zones. These areas are located, and I just, I'm interested to see it play out. I really am. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, and it's actually a really fun game, and it's actually a really cool take on it, and it's really cool. I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm going, okay, this was not what I expected, and it's not there where I'm saying, oh, that's looks for the better. Because if you're asking me, would you rather explore, would you rather build up Kalos, or would you rather run around the rooftops and hope you don't fucking get killed by a Totodile? Like, I'd rather the former than the latter. But I'm interested. I'm not like. But the thing with Pokemon is, I don't like, for not being a fan of potentially where it's going, you can't hurt them for actually taking some risks because they're very risk averse most of the time. So to make Scarlet
Yeah.
and Violet, and then to make Legends Arceus, to make Scarlet and Violet, and then try something new again with this one is quite unusual for them, because to be honest, they usually find a formula and it works. So I think a lot of us were expecting it to just be another Legends game in the exact form of, they change what the flying mount is, they change what the climbing mount is, they change everything else. But it seems to me like, hey, they're trying something new. They're bringing back Mega Evolution, which, they're making a big deal about, but they should never have got rid of it. Instead of making all these gimmicks, they should have just stuck
Yeah,
with one and
that
gone
was
with it.
that was their best gimmick mechanic, so, you know.
What you on about, Hunter? I love Z moves. I'm a big Z mover.
Yeah.
What was the one from Gen 8? I don't even remember what Gigantamax
Um,
and yeah,
yeah, that's the one where they
Gigantamax.
just get
And then
big.
Terrorizing or whatever, Terrestrializing for Gen 9. They're just
No,
all lame.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
If they'd stuck with their gut, they'd have like 200 Mega Evolutions by now. Like, they'd have a good chunk of them. But
Yeah,
alas.
they'd have a lot. Like if they would have just stuck with mega evolutions, and then like I think the regional variant thing is a decent addition
Yeah,
too. But
that's cool.
yeah,
But no, we'll have to see how it plans out. I'm interested in it. I am interested in it. Uh, I don't remember did Kyle say anything in the chat. I don't remember what he said. I don't think he said
he
anything,
said it. He said it didn't look bad. So
which is what I think. I don't think it looks bad.
uh,
I just don't know if I like
uh,
the changes.
uh, yeah,
It looks solid enough. We'll see.
so the lack of any mention of the Generation 10 means that there's, you know, do you think that that will, do you think the gap, but the bit of a larger gap between Generation 9 and 10 will actually lead to it being better?
No,
Okay, I was just wondering.
I don't think it. Here's the thing: is I think the reason that there's a long gap, if I'm honest with you, has nothing to do with the fact that there's been delays or anything like that. I think that they've always planned for next year to be Gen 10 because that's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. And I think, 30th anniversary, 10th generation makes a lot of sense. If I remember correctly, for Sun and Moon, they were doing a lot of similar, where it was like 20th anniversary. So it makes sense for them to kind of tie that together, really. I just sit there, Hunter, and I go, yeah, they've had more time, but also they're probably going to be working cross gen, where I can guarantee that Gen 10 will be on both. There'll probably be a. The really cool thing that they could have done is if they made each version, the red and the blue, one of them a Switch 1 and one of them a Switch 2, would have been the way to go if they're going to have to do cross
What
gen,
they
just to
would
make it a
have
bit different.
done would have been red and blue would have been Switch 1, and Switch 2 would have been like the crystal or yellow or whatever they are.
Yeah, totally. But I don't. I think you'll get it on. I think it'll be a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 game. I think there'll be dedicated versions for both. And that to me screams like a massive like red flag because Game Freak struggled to make one fucking video game. Never mind one that works on two different platforms.
That's
So
true.
I'd like to be wrong. Like people really like Scarlet and Violet. I thought it was quite good for the state that it was in, but I'm also one of those people that can acknowledge that it was a broken mess. It's an ugly game, and there are loads of faults with it. Now, is it a load of fun, and is it the most fun I've had in a mainline Pokemon game for a long, long time? Yes, it was really fun, but it was also broken and horrible, and the frame rate was dire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If any other developer had made it, that would have been like the best Pokemon game ever made. Like it would have been up there. It could have like if it actually had the time and care put into it, it could have been up there. But I can't put it
Yeah.
up there because the game was broken and it deleted my save. It just decided one day that the save wanted to corrupt
Oh,
and
that's right.
die. So it's like I can't I can't love that game that much, Hunter. I can't.
Yeah, it's it was okay as somebody who consumes Pokemon by just looking at the silly little guys and going, ah, that one's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that generation was all right. I like Spanish Whooper. I liked uh
Yeah, yeah.
I liked Smoliv.
Yeah, it's a fun gen. I liked the gen quite a bit. It's just like I say, it just needed more time in the oven, like a good year, maybe two.
Yeah.
Um, but alas, we'll see what happens. It's interesting. I don't like I say. I don't think you see anything from this game again for a while. I don't think it'll be at the Switch 2 presentation. I think it'll be. I think you're exactly right. I think there'll be a moment in the Switch 2 presentation where a screen comes up, like a PowerPoint thing comes up, like where it's like the same thing that they said, where it's like Switch 1, Switch 2 is backwards compatible with Switch 1 software, and they'll have icons of different games, and it will say like Xenoblade X, Pokemon Legends
Oh yeah.
ZA, stuff like that. I think that's what they'll do because I don't think you'll get a dedicated version. I don't think you'll get a patch. I'm still like 50-50 on if they'll do patches for any of the games, to be honest, other than Breath of the Wild when they try and sell it you again. Like, I have no
Yeah,
clue.
yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, I'm not really sure how many other ones they'll really care to do that for.
I mean, The problem is Hunter, is the Switch is the console that I'd want that the most from, you know what I mean? Like, oh, what I would give for, like, with the rumored Switch 2 hardware, to have all the Xenoblade games just up patched for that, or the Zelda games, or fucking Fire Emblem Three Houses is a game that used to have moments that just it just used to die a little bit when you wanted to play it.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many games where it's like it's so good, but the frame rate's a bit garbage. Like, oh, imagine just give it that little boost. But alas. Anyway, let's move on. Hunter, you've been
Yeah.
playing Conscript, so I'm gonna hand this over to you. What is Conscript? While I try and not blow my brains
All
out.
right. So,
With my nose, I mean, not with your riveting
yeah.
conversation, I promise.
Yeah, Conscript is it was a horror game that came out last year around the summertime, I think. It's a set in World War One, which this makes the third year in a row that I've found a horror game that takes place in this era of history. Because like, what was it, 23? I played Amnesia last year. I played this one called Ad Infinitum,
Yeah.
and now Conscript here makes a hat trick of World War One setting games. But it's like this it's got like this top down perspective, similar to how Signalis is, as far as for a lot of people who might have played that one. Uh, it, it seems to really lean into the fact that if you want it to be, it can be a rather brutal experience. As far as like if you want the old horror of like every decision you make will uh matter, as far as like all of your supplies and such. Like you can turn off checkpoints, and you can limit the thing, or you can turn, and you can also have like limited saves, like how the old Resident Evils used to do
Mhm.
with the ink ribbons and such. Um, so it seems to really lean into that. I enabled checkpoints and unlimited saves because I don't hate myself. um,
Yeah.
I don't have time for that these days. You know, like even when I play, even when playing like the Resident Evil 2 remake and stuff, I left that stuff on because I don't have I don't have that kind of time
Dude,
anymore.
I had to for
But
the platinum of Resi 4. I had to play on the I can't remember not the highest difficulty, the second to highest difficulty, I think it was. And it was like
oh
you
yeah,
only had oh no, maybe it was the highest difficulty. It's like you could only save X amount of times. And it was
oh
like it was
right,
the most infuriating thing of all. Like it was like you had 20 saves throughout the entirety of the game or something like that. And so it was like there was a massive stretch of time where it was like, okay, can't save. I'll save at the start of this chapter, but I have to do this whole chapter in one go. And it'd just be like, oh no, why do you do this to me? I can't do this.
yeah.
I'm not built for it. It's crazy,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
as far as that goes, thankfully, like the game isn't super unforgiving as far as when it actually comes to like combative encounters. You have to be more methodical. Like you can't just stand there. Like with Resident Evil or Dead Space or something, very often I will just la di da my way through some of those encounters until I start dying, and then I'll be like, okay, time to pay attention. With this one, I've been pretty zoned in for the whole time so that I don't get my day ruined because of the way that the thing works. Like you lock yourself in place with melee stuff, you have like this really long wind up time, which you know if you basically you got to play hit and run when you're doing stuff like that, where they'll come at you and you can get a hit on them before they can get you, and then you basically got to run away um, to readjust yourself, or you'll be killed. Because it's not
yeah.
so bad when there's only one, but if even just a second person comes in to attack you, it's bad. It's bad times. But yeah, I'm not super far into it right now. I think I'm most of the way through chapter 2 out of what I think there are 6, if the trophy list is anything to go by. But um there's like 4 endings or something to it too, so that's exciting. Lots of replayability if you're into that kind of thing. Um but yeah. Uh I haven't really got super far into the story part of it. Like, as far as I'm aware, there's this dude Andre that you're playing as. His brother Pierre is also enlisted in the French army, and
Yeah.
the fort you're stationed at gets attacked, and Pierre goes missing, and you get taken. I want to say taken prisoner, but it seems like you just got tossed into a room with a bunch of dead bodies because they also thought because the Germans that attacked the fort thought they killed you. Because
Mm.
I was able to wake up and leave the room without any issue. So you know, so I'll be interested to see if it takes like a what kind of turn it takes because right now it's a very straightforward like all of the horror comes from the fact that it takes place during World War I.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy has happened as far as there's not like a rat monster under the floorboards or anything like that. It's merely just angry Germans.
The classic.
Yeah. But I'll be interested to see if there is some kind of twist like that. But if not, they do set the atmosphere really well. At the end of the first chapter, there was this bit where there was like this interstitial bit where it like flashed back to the household that they lived at before they went off to war, or maybe after. I don't know. Horror games get weird with that kind of thing. But and a nice touch that they had was while you were exploring all of that, there was still like the ambience of the gunfire and all of the like battlefield sounds still happening. I was like, oh, neat.
Isn't it? I think with horror, especially because it's like just both World War One and Two, all easy places for horror, really, just because horrific events in general, period, regardless. So it's like
Yeah, yeah. So
add a creepy bit of
you don't
tension.
really need to dress it up all that much to make it scary, but
Yeah,
all of the tension here comes with like the combat, I would say, whereas like something like Signalis very much oftentimes, even though I was dying very easily in that one too. The tension came more from the parts where I didn't have anything attacking me.
hell yeah. So you
But yeah,
enjoying it so far then?
yeah, I'm liking it so far. I'm glad that finally I got this game in my possession like 2 weeks ago, and then I got sick, and then Lost Records came, and I decided to
Oh
play
shit! I
that.
still need to
So
play that as well. I have
yeah,
not played Lost Records. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't had time. I've not been. God
so
damn it!
I've
I'm going. Oh no! I forgot
so
something.
this has just been put off for like a couple of weeks, and I'm glad to finally get to it because it was one of those ones last year where I'm like, I want to get to you at some point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I've been like at the beginning of this year, I've been quickly making it through my list of the award category we have of the wish we had time for. I've been slowly crossing those
I think
off.
you're the only other person that actually like Cal usually like takes one or two of them off. Maybe I'm usually a 0 for 5 kind of guy where I'm like, this is my parting of the ways kind of moment where it's like I salute the fallen that I did not get around to, and I know that I would never will. It's like I acknowledge you. Goodbye. Have a good
Yeah,
one.
because I believe I had like Balatro and mouthwashing on there, and some
I
other
think I
third
had
one.
metaphor on there, so I think I did kind
Yeah,
of somehow
but yeah,
do one of them. But yeah,
but yeah, I think the only two left now are Conscript here, and Still Wakes the Deep is another one that I'm
well, hell yeah,
looking to get to at some point.
hell yeah. Well, keep us updated, I guess.
Yeah,
But no, the reason that I have not played Lost Records is one because I haven't had time. Two, I forgot it came out, and three, because I've been playing through Ace Attorney Hunter. This has been something that's been months in the making, really. So
yeah,
Hunter and I thought it'd be great to have a quick little talk about Ace Attorney because I've been playing through the trilogy. As of recording this, I've just finished case 2 of the third game.
two, yeah,
So and hopefully by the time this is out, I might be done because I need to get it done. Because the reason that I'm rushing through this video game, ladies and gentlemen, is because it leaves the PlayStation Plus collection in about 2 weeks, and I started it and I was like, oh no, I've got a month to like 3 weeks to play. 2 games. So I've just been storming through it. So the past 2 weeks, I've got through 2 and half of 3, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's all right. I think it's all right so far. Um, I think the interesting thing is 2 definitely felt to me like the worst. Like it was like I had to go and
That
look
is a
up.
game of highs and lows, the second one.
Yeah, I was looking at a load of rankings. Like people were like, okay, every Ace Attorney game ranked, and for a lot of people, Justice for All is either at the bottom or very close to the bottom of the list of Ace Attorney games. Like, okay, I'm glad that I wasn't jiving with it.
Like of all of them?
No, like at the main lines.
Okay, I was gonna say because in most of the rankings that I see, Justice for All tends to be on the lower part of the first trilogy, but then people also seem to not like the other trilogy
The
as
spin off,
much.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I,
the
I just
spin-offs are actually like really good.
Dude, I just did not jive with Justice for All really at all. Where it was like, Case 1 was
Yeah,
mid, Case 2 was fine, Case 3 was the fucking worst thing I've ever played in my
it is the
life.
worst.
It was like a Dangan. I would describe Case 3 as like a
Dude,
Danganronpa game without the comedy, like without the laughing at it. This was just like miserable. It was like, oh, this is what normal people see Danganronpa as.
pretty much like I think aside from the general crime in case 3 of Justice for All being stupid.
They all deserve to be in jail because that girl was
Yeah,
16. Get
yeah,
them all to
that's the
prison, ladies
problem
and
is
gentlemen.
nobody in that case that you interact no like no one that you interact with exclusive to that case, I should say, like Maya and Phoenix are still fine and whatnot, but
Mhm.
nobody like from the circus is likable at all. And it just makes the whole thing miserable to
No, they all
experience.
suck. They're really bad. I hate them all.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I mean, where do you want to start, Hunter? Where do you want to start? As I blow my nose because this is horrendous. I'm really sorry
Um
about this, by the way, because I have literally just been like muting my mic every 2 seconds. But yeah, where do you want to start, Hunter?
I don't know. Let's see. The I know that you didn't like the fifth case of the first game was like the entire length of the rest of the game.
Yeah, what's
But
that about? Fucking hell! Like,
dude, I don't know. I think that they just is like a it was an extra thing added after the fact when they put them on the DS, and it's exists in this weird little vacuum of existence.
I mean, it was good, but I just sat there. I was
Yeah, it
like,
was. I think it was a good case that gets a little long in the tooth, but you
I
know.
think that of 90% of these things, 90% of these cases, I wish were about 30% shorter. Like, and I know
Yeah.
that to a lot of, and this is me, like, if you guys know me, you guys know that in other exploration kind of games, like, Life is Strange, I go around and I make sure that I like talk to everybody, examine everything. I'm very much a thorough kind of person. With these games, I don't know if it's the lack of voice acting or just where I am with the trying to play them, but I could not care about examining everything in a room. I'm literally here to do my job. Like I'm literally here to be like, I don't give a shit about your family. Tell me what I need to know about this murder. Like, come on, like just tell me what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Um, which is fine, but it's like even then when I'm trying to mainline it, the amount of backtracking and repeating, like it's like, okay, all I can think of is let's use case 4 in Phoenix Justice for All just as an example, right? A case that I think is very good. It's probably one of the best cases that I've played so far. It's pretty damn good. But still, it would have been one of those things where it was like, okay, I'm in somebody's hotel room and I need to go back and talk to my client who is obviously being held, who's arrested. So I need to go to the detention center. So to do that, I need to go back into the corridor, go back into the hallway, go back from the hallway into the fucking gala room, go from the gala room into the entrance, then go to Phoenix Wright's office because the detention center doesn't show up unless I go there first to then talk, and then the next thing that I need to go is back in that hotel room, so I have to do the fucking whole thing back again. And it's like,
Yeah.
My
Oh, dude,
God.
I don't remember when. It's like I don't know for sure that it's trials and tribulations. They might have just they might have just decided, okay, let's just give them the list that is not location specific. Um, in
Yeah.
Apollo Justice, I don't remember, but like
It's
they
not in
don't make you
3.
do that.
I'm still
Yeah,
doing it. I'm still doing the jive of the hopscotch and moving backwards and forwards.
yeah, yeah. That's a point of frustration I definitely understand because like sometimes you'd be sitting there thinking you've checked everywhere, and then it'd be like, oh, wait, there's this place that only shows up when you're standing here. And then, yeah.
Or it's like I go somewhere and because I missed one line of dialogue with somebody, I can't do anything there, so I have to go all the way back, find that one line dialogue box that I didn't check, and then go back, and then all of a sudden, that thing that I've just examined that wasn't important is now all of a sudden important, even though I already knew it was important before the dialogue. It's just like little stuff like that where it's like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
missing little checks,
Yeah.
so you can't. You have to follow it to the like to the T, and it's sometimes it irks me a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean because it doesn't happen to me. It didn't happen to me as often when I played these, where I'm just so far as like as like Danganronpa, where I'm so far ahead of where the characters are that I am like they like come on get there, but it still does happen. Phoenix Wright is not immune to that.
Yeah, that it does
But
happen. I don't know, and it's like it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm like, I like being in depth and all that jazz, but sometimes it's just like you can tell it's age a lot. And I feel like
yeah,
there's some quality of
that's
life that
true.
could have happened with this trilogy remaster, and they decided to definitely not do any of it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Fair play, but also kind of annoying. Like, just the fact that there isn't like an auto button for the text, or just the fact that it's like in some cutscenes you can't pause. So it's just like I'm sitting there going, well, I have to go. Okay, if I go back to the PlayStation Home, that'll fit stop it. But also, I don't want to do that. I just want to press the pause button because I'm not going away for a while. Like,
At
it's
least
just like,
at least that pauses it. Some games doing that just doesn't even stop anything.
yeah.
uh,
Or like sometimes the menus I feel like are very irksome, where it's like, okay, I'm trying to get somewhere, or the buttons are a bit laggy, where it's like I'm trying to enter, like, I'm trying to scroll through the menu to get to something, and sometimes I'm pressing far more times than I have to get to the thing because some of the buttons aren't being
oh,
pressed, and like
yeah.
just little bits and pieces where I'm like, little teething issues. But I'm having a good enough time. Um, when it comes to cases, like I say, I liked 2-4. This one that I most recently did 3-2. I liked that quite a bit. That was a fun one.
Yeah, yeah. I think Trials and Tribulations is consistently they're the like I feel like each game does a good job at giving you a solid finale. I think Trials and Tribulations ones that are before that probably do the best at that. Like some people still like people claim that the third case is the worst in every game, but I don't think that which is very true for 2 definitely, but Trials and Tribulations I think case 3 is as good as the other one. I like I like the
No, I think it
case
stands for case for Ace 1 as well. I think that's probably my least favorite of one that I can think of because the samurai one lasted for fucking ever. Um,
yeah,
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because what? Yeah, yeah, definitely that is my least favorite in Ace 1 as well. But
yeah. But yeah, I think that the second case and the third case of Trials and Tribulations are both pretty good. Godot is my favorite prosecutor for most of the series.
yeah, he's
Uh,
interesting. And he just keep every
yeah.
time his coffee mug slides across the fucking table. I'm like, oh my god, please stop.
His theme song is rad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It does make me laugh. I think it's funny because in obviously in 1 and 2 with Miles Edgeworth and stuff. I can't remember what her name is. Fucking Frederic, is it Frederic?
Francisca.
Yeah, Francesca. That's it. they're like undefeated, and the whole idea is like you've
Yeah, yeah.
where it's gonna. He's like, it's my first. He loses his first fucking case, so from the start, he's like,
He's
okay,
like,
that's like,
I'm undefeated. He still says that he's undefeated though, which I respect because I do that all the time.
yeah. Um, so
Uh,
yeah, fair play to the man, but yeah, he's interesting. I like it. I like all of the prosecutors so far. All three of them I
yeah,
like.
I think that in general, Ace Attorney is one of its main strengths is that most of its with the exception of the entire cast of the circus case, I think most of the characters are likable.
Yeah,
Like I like Phoenix quite a bit. I like all the prosecutors. Maya's great. Most of the side characters I'm into.
I don't know.
Gumshoe's fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just getting old and I don't like I look at it and I'm like this doesn't make sense to me. But the ages on most of these characters, I sit there and I go, no way is fucking Gumshoe 32. Like I'm just like no, that's not how old he is. Like you know what I mean? Like this is where I'm
Yeah.
like there's no way. I'm like I'm not sitting there. I'm like there's no way that
Dude,
like
dude, did you the actor guy that plays the Steel Samurai, his age was one that is baffling. I don't remember what the number is, but it was
Francesca's like
way too low.
18 and I'm like what? No, no
Yeah,
she's
Francisca
not.
yeah,
No she's
Francisca's like
not.
18.
Like no,
Doesn't make
wrong.
sense at all.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. Like I just look at half of these ages. It's like the case that I've just done about the thief guy and his wife, and they're both like 23, and I'm like, fuck off. Like we're not doing this. Like we're not doing this. Like what's like we hit different in 2005, dude. Like my god.
Yeah, I don't understand it most of the time either. Like, uh,
It's just I just keep looking at the ages and I just keep laughing because I'm like, there is no way because it's just very funny to me where it's just like obviously they just chuck numbers on them and they don't care and I'm like that's fun and it's all
yeah,
fine.
pretty much. Like,
But it's very goofy when I'm just reading through profiles and I'm like, there's no way that person is 42, dude. They look decrepit or whatever. It's like the little
oh, oh yeah. Oh my god.
yeah. It's just very funny. I there's a lot of things that I do think is quite charming and I like quite a bit. I like the fact that it's very clearly based in Japan, but they say it's in LA. I think that's very charming. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I
The
think it's very
good old
charming that it's set.
Japanifornia.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
very much set in like I guess to them a near future, but everyone still has flip phones and all that stuff. It's like 2016, but everyone's still got flip phones and everything's still very 2003. Um,
one of my favorite things about the online fan base is because of like the near future aspect of it is when people are like, "Oh, we're coming up on the date that this happens."
oh, I bet you that is very fun. Where it's like, oh yeah, this is the time where yeah, this is the day Mia died, and you're just like, oh no, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I'm enjoying it quite a bit so far. My least favorite was definitely the fucking circus. I didn't like the circus. The circus sucked. Um,
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of the Steel Samurai one and the first one either. I thought that one was kind of lame. And then as for yeah favorites, I liked this latest one. I liked 2-4. Uh,
I think 1-4 was also really
yeah,
good.
1-4
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's just solid overall. I have no
Like
complaints really.
yeah, like most of them range from, solid to really good when they get really good with the, shotgun to the leg that is the circus case. I don't,
Dude, the circus case took me forever, and it was because I just
yeah.
had an unwillingness to want to play it. The music was annoying. The fucking characters were annoying. The
Yeah,
case was
the
annoying. The solution was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like they took 6 million stretches. I was like,
uh
my god, someone's pulled a muscle because this is a load of bullshit, dude. Like this is like, was there a writer's strike during that one? Like my god, and they're like,
during that case specifically.
yeah, it's like genuine.
Because all of them must have come back for the end of the game.
Phoenix, I'm gonna give you
Uh,
one chance to prove this guy. I'm like, no, just remove him from the court. He's obviously not trustworthy. The cloud's not trustworthy. Remove him. Like, what the fuck is this? And then they have
yeah.
then the whole ending is like, oh yes, let's all carry on working at this circus. Like, you're all deranged, dude. You're all fucking weirdos. The little girl tried to kill 3 people. You fucking, like, she thinks her dad's in the stars or some shit. Like, no, separate it.
Yeah.
And you're all a bunch of nonces at
Look,
the same time. Like, I'm
none
just
of
like,
them could
no.
get a job anywhere else. They have to stick together or they'll all perish.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just
I think that's the only case in that is improved by the anime, and that's because in the anime it's done in under an hour.
oh, good. yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how they divvied them up in that. It was probably 2 episodes a piece, so like 40 minutes at max.
Yeah, that's probably a more reasonable way to get through it, to be honest.
Yeah,
But no, I've been having fun. Like I say, hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be done
yeah.
with it. Um, and then I've just been playing the new Astro Bot levels. That's actually all I've done. Other than that,
Oh, nice. Yeah, how are
which are still
those?
good. They're still good. The latest character was like Jade from Beyond Good and Evil. So
Oh, nice. My One of my other buddies told me that the main character from Dark Cloud was one of
yeah,
them.
that was last
Yeah,
week's I think, and I don't remember what the first one was. I'm already forgetting, but it's nice.
yeah. What
I like that they keep doing this. That they just keep adding little bits and pieces to Astro Bot. It's always a good time. Uh, can't complain. Can't complain. And then yeah, as I was mentioning to you, I've broken out the Vita again just because I've been bored. I needed to do some stuff, so I've just been playing some like Ollie Ollie 2 because why not? Because I played it years ago.
Describe the situation at work to the people because I think it's very funny.
No. I just got very addicted to this game, so I'm just literally sitting in the dark because people at work don't they like I don't want to dox where I work, right? But I have an office and people just bust through my office door and want me
They do not
regardless.
respect
They
the
do not respect my
sanctity of
time.
break.
Yeah, I do not get a break. So I was literally just sitting in a random room that I could get into. It was a fucking storeroom. I should like should I have been in there? That's another question entirely, ladies and gentlemen. But regardless, so I just sat in there. Obviously, I'd unlocked the door. I locked the door. I locked myself in to this storeroom, and I was like sitting on a bin, playing Ollie Ollie 2 on my PS Vita for a good while. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm ill. Like, this is how I've been the whole week. And I'm just like, this is my life. This is the pinnacle of my life right now.
I'm
Is
just
sitting on a
imagining.
bin in a storeroom in the dark. I didn't turn the light on, just playing Ollie Ollie 2 on my PS Vita like a right little chump, dude.
Yeah, you described that, and I just imagine like one of those memes where it's like it just shows you this absolute creature, and it has the caption like me looking through the fridge for a snack at 3 a.m. Like
Dude, that's
somebody opens the
basically
door, and you like look up and like hiss at them
that's
fairly,
basically
and
what I
then
was
go back
doing.
to your
Yeah.
game.
That's basically what I was doing, dude. And it's like I'm just I'm just sitting there playing Ollie Ollie 2, dude. Don't mind me. Um, but yeah, because it's like I was looking at my Vita games because I was like, I don't have many Vita games left really that I haven't played, and I hadn't been paid yet because I was like, there was a part of me that wanted to just buy like Persona 4 Dancing on Vita so I could just play that and platinum that real quick. But so it's like this and Meat Boy, and it's like
Oh, people,
they're both really hard games to platinum. So I never actually finished them on PS4. So I was like, I guess I'll start with this one because it's slightly easier, and I'm having fun. Like I like little arcadey games like this. It makes me scared of when there will be a new PlayStation Portable because I assume there will be at some point.
yeah.
Because the idea of trophies on the go is a very alarming situation
Oh
for
God, you
yours
can't
truly.
take those with you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm
I,
saying. Yeah,
I have to write a letter to PlayStation. Be like, you don't understand. This cannot happen.
yeah, it's like
I've let you pass. I have let you go on all the other heinous nonsense you've done, but I have to step in here.
well, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I just played Ollie Ollie 2 and tried to get to a point where I can maybe get the platinum on this. Um, Mainly because I was like, yeah, Meat Boy is more in my wheelhouse as a platformer. I never really played Meat Boy. I got literally play one level and popped a trophy by accident, and then never have gone back to it. and it's notoriously hard. So I've always been like, I don't know, I don't think I'll play
I
that
don't
on
think I
Vita.
ever. Yeah, I don't think I ever played all of it. I think I got. I don't know if they divvied it up by worlds or whatever. I got a ways in, but didn't go back.
Yeah, so I've always wanted
And
to
now
play
it's
it.
like one of those things where it's like, if I wanted to, it's one of those things where it's like, I've never been motivated to go
Yeah,
back. I guess because if I wanted a hard platformer, I'd play Celeste again, or seek out something brand new.
yeah, I can see that. It's also one of those things where I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll stream it or whatever when it gets super hard and stuff like that. Whereas Ollie Ollie 2, I can safely say I will never be needing to do that. So I was just like, I'll stop playing it. It's been a fun
Yeah,
distraction though. I don't regret playing it a little bit. I'm that passionate now that I've downloaded it on my PS5 so I can hop between the two of them though. So that's the main problem.
yeah.
But it's fun. I don't know how I'm going to beat some of these harder challenges, but I'm hoping that it's just like, eventually you just get good and you figure it out and you watch a couple of YouTube videos and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, sometimes it'll just come together that way, and you won't be able to do it again if you tried.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how it'd be going with me when I'm going through these old Castlevania games. It'd be like, oh, finally, I flailed the right way. I
Hell yeah.
survived.
I mean, I wanted to try at some point because I know that was also a PS Plus game, the newer one, Ollie Ollie World or whatever. But then I
Yeah,
found out that
yeah.
they shut the servers down for it. So I was like, so you can't 100%
Oh,
it anymore because the servers are gone. So I'm like, wow, that sucks. I guess I'll play the old one then because I was going to play Ollie Ollie World. But I was like, oh,
yeah, yeah. I remember
that's lame.
trying that out when it was a Plus game for a little bit, and yeah, those games aren't tough.
Yeah, but I'm having fun. It's a good little distraction. I need to get back into games because I've not been into games since I finished Metaphor. Really, I've been playing in and out of, dabbling with things in and out. Mainly playing a bit of Ace Attorney, but that's a book, right? Like, let's be real here. It's a book. I'm reading a book. That's what I'm doing.
With
Um,
pictures, yeah,
with pictures, yeah, and some really
and
long animations that piss me
some
off. Yeah,
and a really good soundtrack. That's
true.
arguably the greatest thing about the games.
Yeah, and so far on the soundtrack, 1, 3, and then 2. Like, that's the order of where I'd put the soundtracks at the moment. Is 1's is
Yeah,
iconic, 3's is pretty good so far, and 2's is the worst of the three by far. That case music was more like a fucking funeral music. What the hell was that? Stupid ass music.
yeah,
Fuck you, Justice for All.
yeah.
Garbage ass video game. I have decreed it. There's a good case in there. Very good, but my god. Very big circus. Fuck off, dude. Awful. It's like Fruit House levels of bad. My god. They live in the same part of my brain now.
So because I've been like replaying Persona 4, the Barry Big, the mention of like Barry Big or whatever triggered Teddy in my head, and now I just imagined Teddy
It's his favorite chapter.
in Teddy in Ace Attorney, and that made me giggle. Uh,
Yeah. He'd make a good defendant.
oh yeah, he would. No man.
I didn't kill him. I'm very sure, dude. I'm very sure.
Uh,
Uh, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Uh, right then, I guess we're going to wrap it up a little bit early because that's just how we roll here. Because I don't know if you've been able to tell, I've had to like literally, I've been muting my mic like every 30 seconds to blow my nose. This tissue, I'm not joking, ladies and gentlemen, bit. Cover your ears if you're sensitive, dude. It's more fucking liquid now than it is paper, ladies and gentlemen. That is. It's like it's.
uh,
I don't know why talking is making my nose go worse. I've not been this bad all day, but there you go. But hey, hopefully it's just for this week. Next week, back and better than ever, dude. That's my plan. And hey, maybe me and Hunter will play some Slit Fiction. Maybe that's the
yeah.
plan now. Our links are on screen right now, by the way, which I'm down to do. I just thought because
Definitely.
the reason I do want to clarify, by the way, and I'll clarify it on the podcast. The reason that I didn't initially go as Hunter as my first pick is because I know that he might have to also be playing another game. So I didn't know if he was like me and he doesn't like double dipping his hand into all the video games. But hey, if you're down, Hunter, I'm down. We can do it.
I'd be down. I
You're
can
playing as the
probably.
fantasy one, though. I'm putting this on the podcast because that's your jam, dude. You can be fantasy
Oh
girl.
yeah, that's fine.
And I'll be sci-fi girl, I guess. I don't know what... There'll be no difference. But
Ethan, known sci-fi liker.
I, I like Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who's my favorite show of all time. I guess it makes more sense than fantasy, dude. What do I like? I'm known fantasy hater, dude. So that I get sci-fi by default, I guess. I've watched a Star Wars at some point. One of them. I won't tell you which one. Okay, guys, it was The Last Jedi. It was The Last Jedi, and it was I thought it was all right. There you go. Dislike away. There you go. But yeah, next week then, ladies and gentlemen, I guess Split Fiction. We'll be talking a little bit about Split Fiction, and then whatever else pops up. Hey, maybe I'll have finally played Lost Records. Who knows? Fingers crossed. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there for this week. Thank you ever so much for listening and watching. I apologize for the absolute tragedy that has been my voice and my nose today. If you've got through it this far, I really do appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with hopefully some new games to talk about. But hey, until then, have an awesome rest of your week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Doodaloo.